Cheers. Split. Oh, right. Oh, gosh. Hold on 1 second. I'll be with you in a moment. Sorry about that, my lovelies. Well, splendid. There you are. And a very good evening to you and the warmest of welcomes to Tuesday. It's Tuesday, isn't it? The warmest of welcomes to Tuesday Night Live with me, Boaty, and I'm going to be coming into your eyes and your ears for the next 58 minutes, direct from Windy Bottom here in the magical Peak District National Park. And I am just brushing my nipple there. And I genuinely didn't mean to do that, and I apologise. Good evening. So, we've got lots and lots to chat about, I'm sure. Of course, I want to hear all of your news. How has your day been? What have you been up to? What have you been eating? Anything that you care to throw at me, I would be delighted to discuss. So, let's pile straight into it. Steve Colg is with us, and a jolly good evening to you, Barry, aka that guy from SETI Alpha 5. He has graced us with his presence, and I think I speak for all of us when I say that we couldn't be more overjoyed to welcome him. Project Nigel, Captain Mustard, is here and greets the community with a cheery, "Hi, cats. Hey, you cats. Hey." He has got that sort of voice, hasn't he, Mustard? He's got that sort of "Hey, you guys. Hey, cats." He's a bit Cliff Richard. He's a bit Cliff Richard. I don't mean in a slightly allegedly investigation-worthy way. I just meant in that cool late 60s summer holiday kind of vibe. "Hey, you guys. Hey, you cats. Why don't we all get on the bus and go to the beach?" Good evening to you, Mustard. Oh, Captain Asparagus to the rescue. Oh, dear me. Good. Oh, Jimmy Quinn is with us. Good evening. General Cheeseburger is here. Otter MG is right in our midst, and that's fantastic. We've got Joe. We've got Bad Books. We've got Sophie Richardson. We've got Ross Dinosaur Dad. Oh, this is fabulous. Sophie, my lovely, my day has been most awfully good. Thank you for asking. Haven't quite caught up with all of the housework yet, but it's been a jolly productive day. Oh, yeah, it's been a jolly productive day, you guys. So let's carry on with some of the news from last night. Now, obviously, last night I imported the news that there was a potential issue with Melanie Mbag. Indeed, the potential issue with Melanie Mbag has been the subject of discussion in places on, well, not so much on high, but in places. And I'm going to be getting to that in the very near future. But I thought I would update you on Mbag. Now, those of you who were here last night will no doubt remember the lead up to it. The news is all splendid, as I rather suspected it might be. A little bit of research has shown that what the issue actually was. What the issue actually was. And that's not a tautology before you start attacking me for it. What the issue was not. Oh, well, that's a jolly good start, isn't it? Apologies for that. It seems that my internet, which I need to change, I need to sort my internet out. I signed up for whatever it was, 12 months or 18 months at 20 something quid, and it's now jumped up to 55. And by now, I do mean about 6 months ago, and I keep forgetting to do anything about it. And it's not even particularly good internet. So I think I will go back to British Telecom. Good old BT. My grandparents used to be shareholders in BT, and I like Maureen Lipman, so it makes all the sense in the world, doesn't it? No. But I was telling you about Mbag, wasn't I? So what happened was the oil level got a bit low, not dangerously low or anything like that. Good heavens, no. I'm far too careful for anything of that nature to happen. But the oil level was down somewhere approaching the minimum. And that triggered a bit of a flicker from the old light, didn't it? And so, like a good chap would, I immediately stopped, checked the oil, realized it was getting towards a little bit of a low bit, and I topped it up correctly. What I didn't realize, one of you kind people did let me know in the live stream last night, that they have a tricky filler neck. And I've subsequently found that in order for the oil to immediately take a dive into where it damned well ought to be, instead of dwelling up around the top, you pull the dipstick out prior to pouring the oil in. I didn't know that then. Of course, I know it now. So put the oil in, blah, blah, blah. And what's happened overnight is the oil has correctly drained to where it should be. The oil is now at the maximum mark, and there are no issues. The car is driving absolutely perfectly, and the light is no longer flickering. So that is all good. And just to be absolutely clear, the car has not been driven with too little oil. The car has not been driven with no oil. And the car has not been driven with too much oil. Sorry to disappoint those of you doommongers who considered that that might be the case. Now then, where did I get? Dan Peters is here. How fantastic. Hello, sir. A very warm welcome from Bedfordshire. Great to join you all live. I don't suppose he actually did that gesture, but I'm doing it on his behalf because I think it's great that you've joined my live as well. I'm jolly pleased to see you. And you've been leaving some lovely comments on my videos, for which I am very, very grateful. I diddly do. Hope your day has been filled with much MG and Rover happiness. It has. It has been filled with MG and Rover happiness. I've been driving Mbag today, and she is nothing less than a joy. And I've ordered 2 shoddy bits of merchandise from China, one for Mbag and one for Wetleg. And we are talking aerials. We are talking aluminium aerials. One in silver and blue, both with the MG logo on them, yes. And they're going to be delivered from China within 7 days, or I get an 86p bonus. So that's exciting, isn't it? And what else have I done today? Well, I had a jolly good rest this morning. I didn't get up too early. I had a very nice slice of buttered toast. And this morning, I was just in the mood to not go for the hot buttered toast option. I went for the toast that had cooled slightly on a toast rack, of course. I'm not an animal. And I was then able to lavishly, and it was cut into quarters, obviously. And I was then able to lavishly spread rich creamery butter upon it. And that made it a thing of great joy. And then I had a rather splendid lunch as well. Meat, potatoes, vegetables, Yorkshire pudding, wonderful. I've been eating most splendidly over the weekend and indeed on Monday. But it was nice to get a bit of good old Sunday stodge inside of me. And I enjoyed that very much indeed. And there was gravy as well, as you might expect. Knob news. Knob news. I know you all enjoy a bit of knob news. Well, the news on Mbag's knob is just wonderful. Aesthetically, it's a massive improvement. And as Neil promised me it would, the additional weight of the replacement knob has added a very definite element of positivity to the gear change, which is very welcome. The other knob news is Barney the Streetwise. Now, as I showed you last night, I have Nigel's knob here to see if that would solve the problem of the knob just pulling off like that. And not to beat about the bush, it just hasn't. This knob is exactly the same. So something, either both knobs are broken or the gear shaft is broken. I mean, it's all right. It just means that you have to put it on like that and then lock it a bit over like that so it doesn't pull off. It's not the end of the world. Again, I did some research, and on this push on, push off, pull off knob, if you can, let me show you. You don't mind if I approach you, do you, darlings? We are quite intimate. This silver collar at the base of the knob, that is supposed to twist. I mean, it doesn't, but it's supposed to, allegedly. And by twisting that, you free it to lift off, and then you lock it on. And it kind of, it is a little bit now, but by all accounts, it's not a very good system, and it is fraught to breaking or not working, and that might be the case here. So there we are. Those are your knob updates, and I jolly well hope you enjoyed those. Neil is amongst us. Splendid. Neil, who started work at 3 o'clock this afternoon and won't be finishing until 2 o'clock in the AM. At which point I thought somebody was knocking at the window. Then it's my, what do you call it? Parasol thing over my al dente dining table. I should put it down, really. It's gone awfully windy, which is probably why the interweb is becoming intermittent. And it's knocking on my window, but we can ignore that, can't we? We are professionals, after all. Dan says, oh, hang on, I didn't finish with Neil. Hello, all. Hope we're all good and have had a great day. I'm out on patrol at the moment, mending some people's cars, currently dealing with a Tiguan in Stafford services. And that's not some kind of dangerous animal. It's a Volkswagen, I think. It is, isn't it? It's a VW Tiguan. Ross says, oh, no, I can go back to this one now. Internet these days, says Dan, it's a ridiculous price. And I've had problems with mine at my current house, and the price isn't much good either. You have to kind of shop around, don't you? And not get caught out with the auto renewal thing, which is the business model now for so many companies in so many different areas. Insurance, car insurance, broadband providers, they give you a good deal for 12 months on the basis that they can auto renew you after 12 months. And you either won't realise or you can't be asked to do anything about it. And I fall into both of those camps, which is ridiculous because I am a poor person in both senses of the word. I'm by which I mean that I live on the edge of poverty with an extremely low income, which I managed to live beyond. But in fairness, you give me any level of income and I will live beyond it. It's a particular talent of mine. Give me 10 million quid a year, I guarantee you I'll still have an overdraft. It's just, I'm blessed that way. The FSM, in his wisdom, saw fit to decide that, well, he saw fit to decide many things. He gave me a body that ran almost exclusively on alcohol, nicotine, and curry. And he gave me a personality which operates best when I am in debt. So there we are, I am as God made me, and I know that my Redeemer liveth. Who said that? I'll give you a point if you know. My kids, says Ross, just think the internet is part of the earth, just like air and daylight. It's free and always there. Well, they're right, Ross. It is for them. That's the joy of being a kid, isn't it? You don't have to worry about those things. The freedom of childhood, the wonder of childhood, where, apart from kids who, bless them, don't have it and deserve better, then Ideally, the point of being a child is that you don't worry about things. You don't worry about the internet. You don't worry about paying rent. You don't worry about where your next meal is coming from. It's our job to worry about that. We had our time, hopefully, as a carefree child. I mean, I didn't. I had a terrible childhood, but I hope you had a lovely, warm, comfortable, uncaring childhood. And now, as adults, we get to worry about all of the stuff that no doubt our parents had to worry about when all we wanted was sausage, chips, and beans for our tea and a really nice Christmas present that our parents probably couldn't afford and probably pulled their hair out when they saw the Christmas list we gave them. Does anybody feel guilty about that? Does anybody feel guilty about when they were a child and wanting stuff without realizing what sacrifices your parents might have had to go through in order to provide it? Or let's turn that on its head now that we are all, or most of us are of an age where we could be or are parents or grandparents ourselves. Do any of us feel guilty that we're not giving our children what we think we ought to? Or do we think they're spoiled little shits who should be grateful for what they've got? Cheeseburger says, Ross, I tried to explain to my 21-year-old that internet didn't exist 35 years ago and there were only 3 TV channels. Oh, I did this with Mustard. Obviously, the 4th TV channel was Channel 4. Right. Fastest finger first. What was the very first program on Channel 4? The very first program broadcast on the brand new Channel 4. Don't put your answers on a postcard. Put them in the comments. Otter MG says, yay! Glad Mbag is fighting fit again. Those damn fill necks are a pain. Okay for top-ups, but for a full change, always use the main filter, as annoying as it is to fold back the roof, etc. Oh, it was you who told me last night, wasn't it? That's right, I remember now. Ross says, cheesy. I like that. I like that. Yeah, let's call Cheeseburger cheesy now. Cheesy. Yep, I've got one of those as well. Seems to think the fridge and pantry fill themselves magically. That's the point of being a child or a 21-year-old. God almighty. That's the generational thing, isn't it? And I think it's probably a good thing. I think childhood ended too soon back in the day for many of us. But you've got 21 or even older year olds who live at home rent-free, get their laundry done for them, they get fed, and they're kind of living the life of Riley, although if they're at university, they're probably building up about £60,000 of debt for their future. Whereas in the past, at the age of 21, you might be married, you might be a parent, you're certainly unlikely to be living at home. You could even be in the armed forces fighting for your country. And if you go back to certain periods in history, you could be being killed. That's a sobering thought, isn't it? Look at a 21-year-old living at home without, and just imagine that not all that long ago, a couple of generations ago, people of that age at that stage in life were being sent out to die on the battlefield. And that's enough to make you stop and think, isn't it? Black Line says, no, sorry, I've just read ahead. My internet is free as we're friends with a BT employee and they have a friends and family employee discount thing. Right, well, okay, well, basically I need a BT employee to subscribe to the channel and become my new best friend. Right, Otter MG asks, is Boaty's mic crackly or is it just me? Blackline says it is a little bit crackly at times. The microphone should be fine. I think it's probably the interweb that is at fault. It is very windy. It has cut out once. Apologies if I'm not coming through. Right, Mustard. Right. Cheeseburger says, I can only have BT internet, otherwise I have to take down a wall for full fibre wiring. Mustard says, show us your tools. Right, we had an argument. Mustard said that I had no tools. He wasn't willing to believe that I had tools. And I said, of course I've got tools. I've got many tools. And he said, prove it. And I said I would, and then I forgot about it. And now he's saying, show us your tools. So I'm going to do exactly that. Keep watching, Mustard. Right. Come with me as we approach the cupboard of manliness. Let's illuminate the cupboard of manliness. Oh, shit. Oh, that went well. Bloody hell. Bear with. Ah, there we are. Right. So, in the cupboard of manliness, we can see jump leads. They're a tool. A battery analyzer. Now, down there, you will see, oh, I can't see what you're seeing, but look, tools. Hopefully you can see that. And it's bigger than yours, Mustard. More tools. Drill. Then we have, you still with me? Yes, you are. Drill bits, WD-40, tape measure, and then drawers of many things, tire inflator, extension reel, and then my tool chest. And guess what? Full of tools. And then there are more outside. Are you satisfied now, Capitano Van Mastardo? Oh, and the microphone's over there. The microphone's over there. Oh, now I'm showing you all of that. You don't want to be seeing all of that. Let me put you back to where you should be. And I've just realised that I unplugged the microphone, so you probably didn't hear any of that. And I've got no idea if you're hearing this. But, well, never mind. We'll just carry on, shall we? Joe is editing his video, so he's going to be quiet on chat. Oh, dear. I don't know how much longer the thing about Mustard's missile is going to keep going, but it doesn't show any sign of stopping soon. Amazing video, Paul, says Neil. Dan says, thoughts on remapping cars for fuel economy? Well, I'm no expert, Dan, on things of that nature, but I'm not a fan of remapping cars for any reason. I'm a fan of, if you want a fast car, buy a fast car. If you want an economical car, buy an economical car. If sometimes you want one and sometimes you want the other, then buy two. I'm not a fan of buying cars and buggering about with them in a way that they're potentially not supposed to be buggered about with in order to make them something that you want them to be, but which the manufacturer didn't intend them to be, if that makes any sense. Ross got it first. Countdown. Countdown was indeed. And Cheesy got it. I like calling him cheesy. Ben got it. Barry got it. Yeah, everybody's saying Countdown, and it was indeed. Countdown was indeed the first program to be broadcast on the then new Channel 4. Sophie says we should be grateful for what we all have at Christmas, as there are people out there in difficult countries who don't have anything at all and probably don't even celebrate it. True. With the lovely Richard Whiteley, says Ben. Exactly. Yeah, well done, Mustard. Yeah, Countdown, I reckon. After 6 people have told you in the chat, and I told you 6 months ago whenever we had that conversation, it was indeed with the lovely twice nightly Whiteley. And he was lovely. He was a very lovely man, was Richard Whiteley. Twice nightly Whiteley. Now then, I'm feeling rather good today. I'm feeling nice and rested. I'm just about to book a hotel for next Monday. That's going to be nice. Bob on, Sophie, says Ben. I agree. Neil says fuel economy maps are good. My ZTT has been mapped. We only used half a tank to go from the West Midlands to Boaty to Rochdale and back. About 250 miles fully loaded. Bloody hell, I filled Mbag up tonight. I haven't done the calculation yet, but I did. I think the trip was 160 miles, and it took £42 something of fuel. Actually, maybe that's not too bad. And Ben says, greeting Boaty's personal MGR restoration crew and everyone else. Cheesy, I do love calling him cheesy. Cheesy Pickles says, my daughter finishes uni this year, 45 grand of debt, and I've supported her during her adult education as well. Is it worth it? Oh, gosh, well, there's a question. Depends what specifically you're asking. Is it worth supporting your child? Yes, I would argue. Is it worth getting 45 grand into debt to get your degree to become a graduate? Possibly, I would say. It would depend on the degree that you do. I'm not a huge fan, my loves, of degrees that you do arguably for the sake of doing them and that don't give you a definite career. Now, obviously, if you become a doctor or a dentist or a solicitor or a barrister or whatever, then you're going to work. Yes, you're going to accumulate debt during your academic time, but you're going to have a relatively worthwhile career. So under those circumstances, yeah. But if you take a degree in sociology or something with little or no idea of what you're actually going to do, then there would be an argument for saying that no, it's not worth getting into that sort of debt. I mean, there's been a shift change, hasn't there? My generation, not everybody went to university or expected to go to university. And now it's kind of a thing. It's almost like a leisure activity. And I suppose I would say that I think there are some people who would benefit from not going to university, but doing like an apprenticeship or something of that nature instead, and not starting their working life 100 yards behind the goalpost because they've got 50 grand or whatever of debt. And I'm not sure what I would fall in that category. I've never had a job that specifically pertains to any of my academic qualifications. Everything that I've done has been as a result of luck, bullshit, or arguably a little bit of talent. Although sometimes the academia did come into it. My law study certainly put me in good stead, but generally speaking, and the debt wasn't at the same level when I was a kid, and I didn't pay it back anyway. I didn't. It's so easy to wriggle out of. Not that it was anything like the levels that there are now. But anyway, that's one for debate. What do you guys think? The youth of today, says Dan, are too lazy. They expect it all. Oh, this is going to be controversial. They expect it all to be handed to them or in an inheritance. That bloody hell. Here we go. They need to do long hours of hard labour, and a good clip around the ear wouldn't harm them either. Bloody hell fire. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I'll read that again for you, my loves. I think he has got his tongue in his cheek. But it's an interesting and amusing discussion topic. The youth of today are too lazy. They expect it all to be handed to them or for them to inherit it. They need to do long hours of hard labour, and a damn good clip around the ear wouldn't harm them either. Thoughts on that, my loves? Oh, cheese is off on a mustard missile thing again. Then a lovely set of tools you have there, says Sophie. You can never have too many tools, says Dan. Jump lead, says Cheeseburger. He needed those the other day for his free lunch. Oh, you remember that? Yeah. Cleanest tools ever, says Otter MG. Yeah, well, they would be. They never get used. Mustard says, wow. I told you I had tools, Mustard. You didn't believe me. Oh, hello, Skix here. That's nice. Never used tools, says Mustard. I have used them. Some of them. I'm not reading that out, Skick. Oh dear. Oh, I like this one. Black Line says, Pat Mustard would be proud of those tools in that box. Oh dear. Is he calling me cheesy in the manner that we call hub person hubby? Oh dear. Hey Boaty, says John Doodley. If you could have any rover, what would it be and why? Oh, we've done this before, but it's always worth talking about. If I could have any rover, what would it be and why? Well, quite honestly, I would struggle to narrow it down to one. If I had to pick one off the top of my head, then my usual answer would be a Rover P5B Coupe. And why? Well, I love them. I think that they're peak Rover. I think that they're beautiful. I love the interior. And it was the car that impressed me. My father had one. And it was the car that really impressed me when I was an impressionable car mad kid. His was 69 on a G, two-tone. The coupes looked amazing in two-tone. Silver over grey. And yeah, that I would love one of those. But a while ago, God, it could almost be coming up a year ago now, or 10 months. We did the fantasy. It was the thing Mustard and I had talked about. And we did the fantasy Rover garage. Maybe it's time that we did it again. And I've got kind of a long list. I'd love a P5B. I wouldn't, in all honesty, get excited by anything before that. I wouldn't particularly get excited by a P4 or anything prior to that. P5B would be my entry. And then I would love a P6B. So that's the V8 P6, and I would take the automatic, not the 3500S. I would like a late facelift Rover P6B V8 with vinyl roof, full full Webasto sunroof, automatic with that fabulous little indented lever, and a boot-mounted spare wheel. Thank you very much. And then I would like a late SD1 Vitesse, although I would settle for a late Vanden Plas EFI, or Vanden Plas if you prefer. I would like a Series 1 800 Vitesse Fastback. I would love a 216 Vanden Plas, the SD3. I would love one of those, or a Vitesse. A Vitesse would be equally acceptable. And then from then onwards, they're all cars that I've got anyway, so I won't go through those. Except I would love a City Rover, and there's one on eBay, and it's in the right colour. I agree on apprenticeship, says Cheesy. Cheesy. Most people my age started work at 16. What is everyone's favourite thing about their MG cars? Asked Sophie. I love the ZTT, the colour and how it gets used. Presumably, I think Soph's talking about the practicality of the Tourer, which is going to be quite a relevant subject, given that Neil's ZTT has been packed literally to the roof, thanks to Joe coming up from Cornwall with enough luggage to last for 3 weeks. Hiya, can't stay long. Early start tomorrow, says Simone. Well, thanks for popping in. Degrees were free in Scotland, says Ross, and some are in Wales. My degree landed me with 20k of debt. It's still outstanding, says Barry. Best way for it. I feel like it's our duty to make things easier for our kids, if we can, says Black Lines. Not doing everything for them, but making life easier so they can get going more quickly than we could. There is an argument there, because in other ways, it was easier for us. It was easier for us to get, or people of my generation, it was easier to get employment, easier to get on the housing ladder, so on and so on and so on. Oh, and Simone would love a P5. Oh, is that a P5? Yeah, a P5B2. Ross says, how I envy being a single man with time to be neat and tidy. Yeah, the grass is always greener on the other side, isn't it? When I'm relationshiped up, then I miss being a single man. And when I'm a single man, I miss being in a relationship. That's just human nature, isn't it? Great video from Tom Drives tonight. Update on the prototype, says Cheeseburger. Dan says, I've been looking at a few classic MGs on eBay, and Rover prices seem to be ever increasing, which I can see why, as many are lovely and stunning cars. Agreed, Cheeseburger, says Otter MG. Tom is a good lad, bless him. He is. He seems like a lovely lad. We have said that we should meet up at some point. Blackline says, we have a 23-year-old son working full-time and still living at home. We take 100 quid a month off his wage. He saves the rest. His life will be immeasurably easier when he does leave, financially at least. Can't argue with that. Cheeseburger says, I'd love a 70s P6, but decent ones are like rocking horse manure. Mustard's going to do his 10 Rover list tomorrow. Maybe further education, says Ben, could be paired with a version of the old YTS stroke micro apprenticeship stroke work experience, i.e. a week doing night shifts in the winter with the Gibbinator. Video title from Cheeseburger. It is your job, the video title. We don't need no education. That's not a bad one, actually. I only ask, Boaty, says John, as mine would be a Rover P6 V8 Auto in Luna Grey. Well, we're singing off the same hymn sheet there. I had a 1968 Rover P5B Coupe in 76, says Jimmy Quinn. I got it from the Ritz Hotel. Should have kept it. Oh, hello. Ben says, a week in Kathmandu, Gurkha, etc. See that skill and hard graft result in a sense of self-worth. It is bloody hard graft. Not what I do. I don't pretend to work hard in Kathmandu, Gurkha. And I'm teased for it in a lovely way. But the other guys, my God, do they graft. do they graft. So little update, Ram will be in the air as we speak, heading back to Nepal, and tonight was Bishnu's first night. The great big boss got his chef's whites back on, except they weren't white, and he's been chefing it tonight, or he hasn't much actually, because we were dead tonight, as you'll see in the daily video. But we're gonna have a bit of fun with Bish over the next couple of weeks. He's up for appearing on camera. He did a bit on camera today, but I'm gonna tease him out so you get the funny side. I was talking last night about Bish, and we've got a great relationship. He's incredibly rich, incredibly successful, and I'm neither of those things, and yet we get on like a house on fire. What's the price on the 63R Skik? I'm really sorry, Skik. We still haven't got a price because we haven't done all of the work that needs to be done to it. If you're interested in it and you want to chat with us about a final price or about an interim price, if you were to take it without us doing everything we wanted, you're more than welcome. Okay. I'd have an MG ZR 180, says Boaty, with Kavachi engine. Okay. Oh, bless you, Simone. I hope you're able to get the City Rover, Boaty. I would love to meet you and Mustard one day. You're both great people, says John. Oh, that's really kind of you, and we'd love to meet you too. Right. There is one thing I want to very quickly address. And I'm not going to dwell on it, and I'm not going to get into arguments over it or anything of that nature. I do just want to quickly address it, though. Over the past weeks, months, some very kind, well-meaning people have been letting me know via email or messenger or text or whatever that there seems to be a little thing going on with certain other people on certain other channels where they are enjoying having a dig. And I've always thought that's fair enough. If you want to have a dig at me, that's fine. I'd have a dig at myself. I haven't got a problem with it. Today, it kind of crossed the line a little bit. And it's not having a dig at me alone per se. It's having a dig at me and Mustard and the unknown banker and my friends. And it's not just having a bit of a dig, whether it was meant as such or not. It actually crossed the line into what was defamatory, in what was libelous, and in what was slanderous. And so at this point, and I'm really not going to dwell on this, at this point, I am finally going to take a little bit of action. Nothing drastic, nothing silly. I'm not going to get involved in arguments. I'm not going to get involved in silly tit-for-tat nonsense. I'm not going to do name calling or anything of that nature. What I'm going to do is perfectly simple. The person or people that made the defamatory remarks, I'm going to take the normal steps to have those dealt with, to have those YouTube accounts dealt with. The channel on which those remarks were made, I'm going to take the steps that you would expect to have that channel dealt with and to have that channel sanctioned. In terms of the 3 individuals, then I'm not going to hold a grudge. I'm not going to fall out, nothing of that nature. I'm just going to block them, and they're no longer going to be part of me or mine or anything to do with me. Now, I can't stop them watching my videos or my live streams. I can block their YouTube accounts. They can simply open another one, which I know has already been going on. So that's fine. They can watch them, they can bitch about me, but if they step over where it's affecting business people, where it's having a financial or a potential financial impact, I'm going to draw the line there. Have a go at me by all means. have any kind of dig at me that you care to, but don't cross that line because, you know, and again, and this will be my last word on it, sometimes people that you thought were friends turn out not to be, and that's fine. That's life. So you just move them aside, move on. Okay, so that's it. Job done. There will be some names that you're probably used to seeing. You're not going to be seeing them here anymore. But it's a great, big, wide, old internet. And there are plenty of other places for them to say anything that they like. And that's grand. And I will continue to say anything that I jolly well like here. And that's it. That is all dealt with. Right, splendid. Where did I get to? I would like a Mirafiori Sport, says Skick. Right, there we are. I don't need to have a dig elsewhere. I do it here, says Cheeseburger. And you do. And it's good-natured, and it doesn't cross any line, and I love it, and never stop doing it. You know, we're talking about a very, very different thing here. Dan says, I have to agree, it would be excellent to have a car mate. Sorry, I'm being pinged. And would most certainly attend. Dan, it will happen. It will definitely happen. Joe says, just wasn't on at all. There's no need for it. Skick says, tell me who it is that's giving the remarks. You already know Skick, and you already know which channel. I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to hide it. Cheeseburger says, were the comments on the live stream today, Boaty? Yes, they were. Or is it something else? There were others as well. So as I say, I'm not going to dwell on that. I'll talk about it until, if you want me to, I'll talk about it until midnight, and then we don't mention it again. All right. But comments were made tonight. Now, it won't surprise you that none of this will probably surprise you. But comments were made that are impinging on business matters, on financial matters, and quite frankly, then, you know, there's no two ways about it. They were simply defamatory. They were libelous, and they were slanderous, because they were both spoken and written, as I understand it. I didn't witness it. As I say, there are people, probably not the people that you think. There are people who like me, value me, whatever, care about me, whatever. And whenever anything like this has been happening over the last couple of months, and it has been going on a while on a fairly low level, then I get alerted to it, and I just say, don't worry about it. It's fine. Let them crack on. It's doing no harm. But today was just getting towards the point where it could do harm. So we just need to clamp down on it a bit. Now, if people that I thought were friends that turn out to behave slightly differently when I'm not there, that's fine. I'm a grown-up. I can take that. It's absolutely fine. I will just cut them out. Not a problem. They won't miss me. I won't miss them, I imagine. But if it's affecting my friends, and if it's affecting business, financials, then that is where I'm going to go zero tolerance and no messing about. No point in none of this silly playground stuff, childish stuff. You get all of your screenshots. You go to YouTube, Google, whatever, and you say, right, this channel has been hosting these comments. Get it sorted, please. Otherwise, action will be taken. And no doubt they will deal with it. And I'll be getting onto that in the morning. There we go. Diddly-doo. Where did I get to? Joe, says Simone, next time you head up to Boaty, give me a shout. I'd love to come along. Simone, that would be fantastic. That would be absolutely fantastic. We'd all love to meet you. I would love that to happen. Dan says, I'm going to sadly have to go due to work in the morning. Thank you very much for a good live. Good night, everyone. Keep positive. Thank you, Dan, and quite understandable. We'll all be heading off in 8 minutes anyway, so you're not going to miss anything. And thank you for joining us. Otter MG, I can't read. Well, I can't read the first bit out, but the second bit, absolutely. I've worked, and Mustard has worked to build, and other of you guys, we've all worked together. That's the nicest way of putting it. We've all worked together to build a nice little community, whether it's virtual, as in online, or real life, or both. It's lovely that it all crosses over. And we have good fun. We're all grown ups. We rip the bejesus out of each other. We have a damn good laugh. And at the end of the day, we're there for each other, and we give a bit of a share. And that's what it's all about. And if certain people want to, for whatever reasons, and I don't understand the reasons, I really don't, but if they want to just be less pleasant, then fine. But they're not going to do it in this community. That's all. And if they, like I say, if they do cross a legal line, then they deal with the consequences. And that's really all there is to it. People are people. You can't, we've all faced it. You're always going to face it, especially in a predominantly online environment where people will be happy to say things when they're in a bad mood, or maybe after they've had a drink and they're at the end of a keyboard. They probably wouldn't say it to your face. And in fact, in this case, I know for a fact they don't say it for my face, because these are people that I've cooked for. Well, two of them are. These are people that I've welcomed into my home. These are people that Mustard has welcomed, and they think it's okay in their own little environment to say some less than pleasant things. And, it's okay. Let them crack on. They're just, you don't get to have your cake and eat it. And if you want to talk, insert any word you care to name, but if you want to say stuff over, and it's not just a one-day thing, if you want to say stuff over a period of time and have constant snide digs and so on and so on, if you want to do that, fine. But you don't get to be our friend as well, because that's not how a friend behaves. All right? So if you want to do that, crack on. Not a problem. But don't expect to be part of the community and personal friends as well, because that's not the way it works. It just isn't. Anyway, that is enough of that. Is there a problem with the host of the live Boaty, or am I asking too much? No, you're not asking too much, Cheeseburger. And yes, there is. Quite honestly, yeah. I mean, anybody who saw a certain lot. Oh well, I mean, why do we talk about it? No, I don't. Whatever. Yeah, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. Well, it isn't now, anyway. It's a little disappointing. It's all a little disappointing, but hey ho. And we can talk about it for another 5 minutes, and then it won't be mentioned again. All finished. There's not going to be, yeah, absolutely. That is the way to deal with these things. Not have festering nonsense carrying on and on and on. No time for that. And in fact, we're going to finish this live stream on an absolute high. Barry says ta-ta for now. I have to head out, but but something which I agree with. The community is meant to be a family, not fakes. Look, you're always going to get this. As I keep banging, I ran singles for 8 years. You get little cliques, things change, people form little cliques. There are petty jealousies, there are petty annoyances. It's all a nonsense, of course it is. But, hey ho. Hey ho. It is indeed, Jimmy, yeah. And one other. Yes, it was, Skip. So, time to start saying your goodnight, darlings. We are within. And I'm sorry that I meant to bring this up at the beginning and then just immediately move on and do all of the normal nice stuff. But then I thought it might ruin the whole thing. So I thought I'd squeeze it in towards the end when we can at least just finish. And we won't be talking about this again. Okay. So, Cheeseburger says, I must admit I was disappointed. Some things can be discussed, but not on the internet. Yeah, that's kind of the point, Cheeseburger. I mean, when opinions, whether they're rightly or wrongly held, or whether they're fueled by whatever they're fueled by, when they're suddenly put out there on the internet and people take screenshots and whatnot, then, you know, and when those cross or potentially cross a legal line, then, you know, that's a little bit foolish, isn't it? If you want to, if you're with your mates having a beer in the pub and there are no reporters around, go for it. Don't do it on a forum where people are watching. And you don't know who's watching, by the way. You never know who's watching these things. I don't know everybody who's watching this live stream. I know that Matt has been watching everyone because some people who are cleverer than me have figured out a way where you can see people who are watching. But yeah, it's Black Lions, you're quite right. I feel like we're all too old for this childish bollocks. It is childish, it is bollocks. We are all too old for it, and that's why we're not going to be. That's why when this finishes, that will be an end to it. Can I just? Yeah. Oh, bless you, Joe. Yes, you can, and that's lovely. Ben says, if I may be so bold, I can sense Mike's thoughts. Load of toss, be nice, humans. Well, you know, that's it, isn't it? I mean, just be nice. Just be nice. What a shame. Yeah. Hey ho, these things happen. These things happen. So there we are. There we are, darlings. I hope you've had tomorrow. It's all going to be sunshine, light, and good times. I can assure you of that. I would like to thank you for joining me today. Can you end on a song? Cheer things up a bit. What a splendid idea. Well, what about one that we can all sing together? Or do you want a rude one? What's up? Well, what's a really good cheer up song? Oh, we did this in the yard. I suggested that Mustard and I end our videos on this. Bring me sunshine in your smile. Bring me laughter all the while. In this world where we live, there should be more happiness. So much something you should bring to each brand new bright tomorrow. Make me happy through the years. Never bring me any tears. Let the sun be as warm from the sun from up above. Bring me fun, bring me sunshine, bring me love, sweet love. Bring me fun, bring me sunshine, bring me love. That's going to piss the neighbours off, isn't it? Oh, that would be a good one, Cheeseburger. Oh, Ben, you've gifted a membership. Thank you so much. That's really kind of you. Oh, that's a good one to go out on, isn't it? Some things in life are... Oh, hang on. I can't remember the first line. How does it start? Always look on the right side of life. Some things in life are bad. They can really make you mad. Other things just make you swear and curse. When you're chewing on life's gristle, don't grumble, give a whistle. And this'll help things turn out for the best. And always look on the bright side of life. Come on, cheer up, Brian. Worst things happen at sea, you know. Always look on the light side of life. Da-da, 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 da-da. When life seems jolly rotten, there's something you've forgotten, and that's to laugh and smile and joke and sing. When you're feeling in the dumps, don't be silly chumps. Just purse your lips and whistle, that's a thing. And always look on the right. Oh, bugger off, Ben. It's gone midnight and I'm trying to keep it down so the neighbours don't bloody kill me. Oh, dear, dear, dear. And Brendan, welcome to channel membership. And thank you again, Ben. That was very, very generous of you. Bizarrely, and I don't think it's a coincidence, today I lost 8 channel members. Coincidence? Perhaps not. And I think you can probably guess who those channel members were, or who some of them were anyway. Who cares? Who cares? We've got tomorrow to look forward to. My cars are getting fixed, and the future is bright. By the way, the future is bright. We've got some exciting things planned for all of us to do together. Oh, and before I go, no, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do that tomorrow because I've not booked it yet. I think I'm going to be in North Wales next Monday night, and I was just going to ask any of you, like, are you within meeting for a drink distance? But I've not actually booked it yet, so that can wait until tomorrow. So there we go. There we go, darlings. Thank you so much for joining me. I've really enjoyed the vast majority of tonight, and I've enjoyed the vast majority of today. Please have a safe and peaceful night. Take great care of yourselves, and have the best day that you can tomorrow. And remember, we love you. So much. Yeah, indeed. So much love from me, and I can't wait to catch you all tomorrow, same time, same place, 11 o'clock, and it's gonna be fabulous. You sleep tight, and good night. See you next time.